Finally, this is the last presentation of the team, Appa-Da, with the title, Strategies for Utilizing Blockchain to Stabilize Sustainable Maritime Transport System. Let's please welcome Team Appa-Da.
We are glad that our research brings a new wind. Now we draw a better future. We'll move forward with IMO. Ladies and gentlemen, please sail with us.
Okay, thank you for having us. Safe, secure, efficient. What do these words refer to? We were beginning from this question. Our answer is sustainability. We believe the IMO's philosophy leads to the necessity of finding a compass for sustainability in the shipping industry. And our compass is the blockchain. We are Team Appa-Da. Let's begin the presentation. Today, we have gathered to present our proposal, Strategies for Utilizing Blockchain to Stabilize Sustainable Maritime Transport Systems. With blockchain as our compass, shall we sail together towards the destination of sustainability? We'll start with an analysis of previous research. In Chapter 2, we reinterpret ESG and map each issue to its corresponding problem-solving mechanism. Finally, we'll conclude by delivering our key message through the conclusion. First of all, we'll show you the previous research. Blockchain is a distributed database technology that stores data in a series of blocks linked with a chain. It is characterized by decentralization, transparency, integrity, and security. We'll explain the details about blockchain throughout the E, S, and G. The agenda we wish to submit at today's 10th IMO General Assembly is as follows. And we would like to submit it to the Facilitation Committee, as known as FAL, and explain each detail one by one. The points we can anticipate from this agenda and the content we have prepared today are Strategic Direction 2, integrate new and advancing technologies in the regulatory framework, and 5, enhance global facilitation and security of international trade. Now, let's move on to the main topic. The issue with problem E is the outdated processes in the industry are reducing efficiency. During Hanjin shipping crisis, we witnessed extreme confusion due to the breakdown of information flow. This is where blockchain becomes essential. Blockchain can ensure visibility even in the event of supply chain disruptions by making all transaction records public. Additionally, according to IBM's analysis, the cost of paper-based processes accounts for 15 to 20% of total transportation costs. By adopting a peer-to-peer transaction model of blockchain, we can simplify administrative procedures and transition from a paper-based processes to a digital approach, thereby reducing time and costs. Especially, the IMO mandated on January 1st, 2020, that international navigation vessels establish a cyber risk management system through MSC. This necessitates the use of blockchain, which has high security features that prevent data forgery and tampering. So we suggest the blockchain for shipping industry. We've written blockchain code ourselves to simulate how blockchain could be used in the shipping industry. And this is the code we made. Please focus on the screen now. First is the hash function, which guarantees data reliability. A hash function converts input data into a fixed hexadecimal hash value. One key characteristic is its one-way nature. You can generate a hash from input data, but you cannot reverse engineer. Additionally, it's collision resistant, meaning even a slight change in the data results in a different hash value. Next is the proof of work function, which is essential for adding new blocks. When a new block is added, It must meet specific conditions by finding a valid hash value. Once it meets these conditions, it is considered a valid proof. This strengthens the blockchain security and defense from attacks. Now, let's look at the result. When we input data related to shipping, a hash value is generated through the hash function. This hash is then included in the next block, and after running the proof of work functions, a new block is created. Okay, now, can you feel the great future of blockchain? For example, security, automation, transparency, and etc. So here's my message. The blockchain technology is set to play a major role in increasing efficiency and boosting security in the shipping industry.
Next problem is stewardship. The shipping industry is currently facing with environmental challenges. At the 80th MPC, the IMO set a target of zero international shipping greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. At the 78th, there were several discussions on carbon reduction along with market measures such as emission trading system shortened to ETS. Furthermore, a carbon tax is set to be introduced in 2027. Not only international organizations, but also major shippers like Amazon are participating in environmental regulations. However, the IMO's environmental regulations, which increase costs to protect the environment, bring risks and burdens, while also raising barriers to entry. This increase in costs may lead to challenges fulfilling stewardship, equaling inefficiencies in logistics. We believe that the true significance of IMO's direction can only be realized when various participants fulfill their stewardship well. For these reasons, our team has approached solving environmental challenges using blockchain technology. CER trading in charter contracts is one example. Charter contracts have specific characteristics such as risk distribution. Either shippers or cargo owners are obligated to purchase CERs. Using smart contracts, we can streamline ETS. Additionally, through automated monitoring, individual companies can actively control emissions and reduce their transaction costs. Therefore, the main purpose of this session is to help individual companies actively participate in the flow of environmental regulations by utilizing smart contracts. We used Python and Ganashu, and it should be noted that the gas in Ganashu was considered to be CER for this study. First, we set a 20 years simulated data set and used the Slimer model to predict future emissions. Based on this, we created code to activate data and the transaction on Ganashu. The system analyzed real-time carbon emissions data and automatically conducted purchase or sales under the predicted rules. Finally, we completed the process of checking transaction history on the website. The overall process is as follows. The significance of this study is, first, it enables real-time tracking and notification of trades based on carbon emissions data. Second, this system can be extended to various environmental monitoring and asset management systems. Lastly, the significant achievement is implementing an automated CER trading system. This is expected to enhance the automation and optimization of CER trading. Furthermore, it can contribute to stewardship of individual companies.
Finally, Section G. International trade and maritime transport are inseparable. Since global shipping and supply chains rely heavily on smooth operation, achieving stable global trade becomes difficult without a stable maritime transport system. The biggest obstacle in the era of deepening digital trade is information asymmetry. First, Through the IMO's program, we confirmed that the IMO also recognizes the importance of blockchain in maritime decision-making. Next, we found a link between international information imbalance and the active participation of developing countries by looking at UNCTAD conference reports. And we saw that blockchain has been consistently discussed as a solution. In response, Section G study focused on blockchain as a public ledger. And this is why we created the app Appa-Da. This application provides unprecedented ease of access by allowing users to easily grasp complex information, including blockchain, smart contracts, real-time data analysis we developed in previous sections, and plus, relevant IMO regulations. This aims to reduce international information asymmetry. The introduction of new technology inevitably encounters resistance. The relationship between innovation resistance and two specific variables reveals two insights. One, the psychological impact of technology based on the perceived risk consumers feel before adopting an innovative product. Two, the social influence surrounding the technology. In other words, the less familiar or commonly used a technology is, the higher the resistance to it. Therefore, we emphasize the need to reduce innovation resistance as a prerequisite for stable blockchain adoption. To reduce innovation resistance, we propose targeted education and workshops on blockchain by corporations, nations, or organizations, as well as the formation of international consortium that utilize blockchain in the maritime industry. For this reason, we approached the issue of information asymmetry from two angles. One is verifying the effectiveness of enhancing availability through our blockchain app, and the other is proposing education and consortium building to mitigate innovation resistance. As a final point, the app Appa-Da offers significant usability compared to existing paperwork, utilizing the unique, user-friendly format of an application. This synergy aims to reduce innovation resistance and ultimately bridge the information gap. Today, we presented our study on the challenges facing maritime transport and solutions through ESG, and shared process and findings. Section E, we showed how blockchain could be used in the outdated processes of the shipping industry by creating our own code. Section S, we addressed the issue of environmental sustainability. With blockchain's openness and big data, we aimed to manage carbon emissions through smart contracts and real-time data tracking. Section G, we highlighted the problem of information asymmetry. Using the app Appa-Da, we provided recommendations to prevent unreasonable exclusion and ensure equitable access. As you may recall, the title of this presentation is Strategies for Utilizing Blockchain to Stabilize Sustainable Maritime Transport System. What we have discussed so far is actually an explanation of blockchain utilization guidebook for the IMO, titled accordingly. We intend to submit this guidebook to the FAL at the 2024 IMO General Assembly today. Could you take a look at right? The contents of guidebook starts from the basis of blockchain to concrete utilization planning, such as target scope, funding, and etc. Especially, our ESG study result goes to number 3, allowance range, ensuring that it can integrate smoothly into existing IMO regulations. With blockchain as our compass, we've navigated through ESG to ultimately reach sustainability. We sincerely hope that this guidebook will be thoroughly reviewed and adopted by FAL, strengthening the IMO's role in technical cooperation during this digital transformation era, and eventually contributing to the development of sustainable maritime systems. This concludes our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Team Appa-Da, for the nice presentation. Thank you so much. They talk about strategies for utilizing blockchain. So let's have a Q&A session about this topic. Can we get questions from judges first? Yes, please.
Thank you. Thank you for your very interesting presentations. As you know, the vessels that are to enter into a port in the European side are required to submit more than 24 documentation to the shore side. From the point of that, it's very useful to introduce the blockchain technology in the IMO side and the maritime sector to facilitate. So it called, as you introduced in your presentation, document streaming services, especially using the blockchain to improve the cybersecurity during the sharing the documentation among stakeholders. So I fully understand, and your proposal is composed very well according to the rules and procedures of the IMO. Good proposal. But I fully understand the importance of the blockchain and useful devices, but there is just some concerns. So you also provide some useful data. The blockchain is very useful to increase the effectiveness of sharing the documentation among stakeholders, such as ship side and shore side together. But the problem is that the interoperability among the stakeholders, sometimes among the continent, the European side, Asian side, or North American side. So this technology to be adopted and accepted by the IMO and member state and the other stakeholders like industrial side, it should be interoperability, interoperable. So for example, your application Appa-Da is a kind of platform. So this kind of platform should be open type of platform or the interoperable platform that every stakeholders can approach to this application easily without any limitation or something like that in terms of the transparency or some the convenience for the stakeholders. So could you tell me how to secure this kind of interoperability among the stakeholders when the IMO side or the IMO member state accept or introduce this kind of blockchain technology into the maritime sectors?
Okay, first of all, really appreciate about your comment and advice. And about the question, we'll take a moment to discuss each other and answer it in clarification.
First of all, thank you for your question. In order to transition from a local to shared environment, we can use an application, example MetaMask, distributed in existing market, but it required some money. That's why we made code in local environment. So we need to open environment. So we can use application in existing market.
And I'll add more information about stakeholder in the IMO member state. That's the why we put funding and investment part in the guidebook, because IMO doesn't exist for profit, but for member states, the profit is necessary for stable stable existence for the IMO. So we consider about that, but we couldn't find some specific information from IMO's reports, so we saw the UNCTAD reports. So if this guidebook thoroughly reviewed and adopted by the FAL, these kinds of information can be discussed more and more.
Okay, thank you. I fully understand what your situation, but I do not disagree with your idea, the necessity to use the blockchain technology in the document streaming services in the maritime sector. But the more important thing is that to secure some kind of interoperability, to purchase and to make the member state understood to adopt your proposal. So that is why I'm asking now. For example, technically, for example, the API interface or the common standard data structures or some more secure identification, identification. This is a very difficult word. Identifications. So if this kind of technology is used very commonly in this blockchain system, then the every stakeholders can easily approach to this kind of platform to provide and use some documentation in the digital basis. That such kind of point is very important to persuade the other member states to make understood your proposal, and even when they decide to adopt this your proposal. So that is my comment. Thank
Thanks
you.
very much for your comment. And let's move to another questions. Yes, please.
Thank you for your. It's so very difficult to me to especially understand what are you talking about that. But I carefully read your documentation, which has been submitted to this assembly as your formal documentation. But my general comment: you need to follow some outline or standard format when you submit some document or paper to IMO. For example, when I see your proposal, special paper, is very unusual and very the challenging format to IMO about your proposal. I fully understand that you proposed to the meeting to carefully review the publication of document which may be attached to this document is some academic paper which published some academic research institute on blockchain use at this maritime industry, and request some take proper action to the meeting. What's the main example of action for the commit to take for your proposal?
Thank you for your thoughtful question. And I think there are two questions there. So first of all, the contents of the guideline came from the our ESG study result that was based off this contents, and rest of the contents follows FAL existing convention. And as I told you, the UNCTAD, how can I say, tool of UNCTAD reports. Yeah, that was my answer.
Thank you. And I think we can get one more short comments or questions. Yes, net zero, please.
Thank you for your insightful presentation. If your proposal is accepted in FAL, then which subcommittee would handle this proposal and why? because FAL is not a subcommittee, but you've already mentioned about FAL, so yeah, that's my question.
Okay, thank you for your question. And I'd like to say FAL means Facilitation Committee, which based on FAL convention.
So my question is, if your proposal is accepted in FAL, then which subcommittee would handle this proposal? So afterwards.
First of all, FAL is not independent committee. So throughout the presentation, it was confirmed. I confirmed that due to the characteristic of the FAL, it is uniquely intertwined with other committees compared to others. So in the process of not only focusing on the FAL convention, but also examining the discussions and decisions from other committees. So I believe that issues related. I'm sorry.
The time is up, so please make your answer shortly.
Yeah, I think it's enough. So thank you for your question.
Thank you so much. The time is up, so let's wrap it up here. And everyone, please give them a big round of applause. Thank you, Appa-Da.